Hello, my name is Adam Fletcher, and I would like to talk today about what I've been learning this project on Python. I selected Python because I had been told up and down by lots of people that it was an elegant, simple language that everyone should know, so I decided to give it a try. And it seems that they're not too wrong about that. It's rather simple, and I kind of enjoy that it doesn't really use semicolons. Instead, it closes its statements by reading lines of code themselves. So, for example, if you had a line of code that said print, insert line of text here, it would read the statement on that line of code and print that. You don't need a semicolon to close the statement. Tabs and variables. Most interestingly is the tab system. It uses a tab and colon scope system. What that means is you see in this example a while loop where it runs this variable number as long as it's less than or equal to 11, and the colon there identifies that this is the start of the while loop's scope. Now, there's no end to this scope like you would in most other languages. There's no curly braces, there's no parentheses. It just goes until it goes and it reads each of these tabs. So the if statement is one tab in, the else statement is one tab in, the number plus equals 1 is one tab in. Everything that is tabbed after the while loop is part of the while loop scope. So it'll read it and perform it until it reaches either the end of the loop, or if the loop ends, such as when number finally equals 11 and then passes it, it'll go to the end and realize that the next line of code is not tabbed, the print finished, and then it will execute that. Speaking of the number, variables are declared dynamically. What this means is there's no pretext before the variable itself. There's no int, there's no char, there's no float. You just, kind of like JavaScript, you just name the variable and you assign it to something, and then it automatically determines what data type that is based on what you put in there. This works rather well, except Python doesn't really like data type miscomparisons. So you'll see on the line print string parentheses number plus multiple of 3, that line there is telling you that I have to convert number into a string if I want it to be a part of the multiple of 3 string. So you have to cast every variable that you want to be compared. They have to be the same data type. This can be kind of tedious, I found, but it's kind of nice to be able to just run a very simple built-in function to declare something a certain data type. And then once you put it all together, you get this nice little clean output from this code here. Next, we have functions and global variables. Functions are declared very similarly to any other scope. You set the keyword define, which sets it as a function, the def here, the name of the function, in this case add, the variables it receives, in this case x and y, and then the colon to define the start of the scope. And then after that, just like anything else, everything is tabbed. Everything that is tabbed is part of its scope. In this case, the function simply returns x plus y. And then later on, you can call the function like you would in any other language just by naming the function, putting the parentheses, and any of the variables it needs to get. You can nest functions as well with the, see here it says print times, and then you use the add function to get the first value. Additionally, there are global variables. In this case, x equals 30. Global variables are very interesting because in order to access them, you have to use this global keyword here to tell it that you want the global x and not just any regular x. So in var test function, in the first var test function, the x setting x equals 20 and you print x will come out 20. Whereas in the var test 2, you call global x, if you printed that, it would come out 30. I thought it's been very interesting. I've been really enjoying everything I've learned in it so far. I don't think it's my favorite coding language, but I think I really like the simplicity and the capacities that it has. I hope this has been entertaining and helpful for others, and yeah, this is what I have. I'm very grateful for the experience I've had.